Well, hello and welcome to one of my parts of speech videos. Today, we are going to talk about what is a sentence. As defined by Webster, a sentence is a word, a clause, or a phrase or group of clauses or phrases forming a syntactic unit which expresses the assertion, a question, a command, a wish, an explanation, or performance of an action that in writing usually begins with a capital letter and concludes with appropriate end punctuation, and that is speaking is distinguished by characteristic patterns of stress, pitch, and pause. So make sure that you memorize that, and you will have a quiz on that tomorrow. No, don't worry about that definition. What I want you to know what a sentence is it's a complete thought. Yes, it's going to have some of those components, which we will talk about, that you need to know. But if you can remember that it's a complete thought, you are well on your way. So there are 5 things needed for a complete sentence. Every sentence must start with a capital letter. Has to have end punctuation. It has to have a subject. Has to have a verb, and it has to make sense. Now, those are the 5 things that I will ask you to know, and you will be expected to know for a quiz or test. So let's start with a noun. This is hopefully review for you. A noun is a word or group of words that names a person, place, thing, or idea. So let's go through a couple examples here. So an example of person, for example, is Michael Jordan. A place, store, thing, balloon, idea, piece. Now, what you will see from this, and this is not an exhaustive list, but there are so many different types of nouns out there. Okay, so for the basis, a noun is a person, place, thing, or idea. Now, each one of these nouns is going to talk about a different function that the noun can play. For today, we want to talk about this one. Okay, when a noun plays the role of a subject. And how do we know that the noun is playing the role of a subject? So what is a subject? Well, we know a noun is a person, place, thing, or idea, or word or phrase. That's a person, place, noun, a person, place, thing, or idea. There we go. A subject is a special type of noun. This is going to be the person, place, thing, or idea that the sentence is about. That is the key part. The idea that the sentence is about. Okay, so for example, Jenna, that's a person, went for a walk. Well, what's this sentence about? The sentence is about Jenna. In the second example, the store was closed. What is this sentence about? The sentence is about the store. Okay, the sentence is telling us that it was closed. In the third example, balloons filled the air. They tell us what filled the air. The balloons filled the air. So the sentence is about the balloons. And then in the last example, peace was declared at midnight. Well, what was declared at midnight? Peace. And that is what our sentence is about. That is a noun, a special type of noun. It's the subject of the sentence. So first thing that you need to have for a complete sentence is you must have a subject. Okay, we're also going to talk about verbs. Sometimes you'll hear them referred to as the predicate, or they are in the predicate part of the sentence. We'll talk about that more later, but for now, just know the second part that we need is a verb. There are 2 types of verbs that we're going to talk about. There are action verbs and there are linking verbs. So first, I am going to give you a definition that includes both types of verbs, and then we'll talk about them separate. So a verb is a word that shows the action, okay, that is this part, or the state of being, which is referring to the linking, of the subject of the sentence. Okay, so for this, we are going to have that subject that we're talking. The verb is going to tell us what it's doing, or it's going to tell us a state of being. It's going to link it to something else in the sentence. It'll make more sense later. Bear with me. All right, so let's start with action verb. An action verb is a word or group of words. Sorry. See, I have a typo here. I'm going to have to change that. A word or group of words that tells us what the subject of our sentence is doing. Okay, there are two types of actions. Not every action you can see, so I want to make sure I talk about this. There's the body action. Those are easier, like walk, run, hit. You can see them happening. But there's another type of action, which is called mind action. Okay, this is what's happening inside your head. Okay, so we can't always see it, but they're both considered action words. Action words also do something else for us. Okay, action words tell us when something is happening. It expresses time. Okay, did it happen in the past? Is it happening right now? Or is it going to happen in the future? Verbs tell us when something is happening. So an example, past tense. John kissed the girl. When did this happen? Kissed identifies that happened in the past. How about present tense? If you can see, our sentence is almost exactly the same. Okay, I'm using the same action word. It's just I'm using a different tense of it. John kisses the girl. And future, same sentence as this, I have this new word will and a form of kiss. John will kiss the girl. So as you can see, depending on the tense, I have a different ending for those two. In this one, I have a specific helping verb that tells us when the action, the kissing, is happening. All right, so that leads us to our second type of noun, which is called linking verbs. Okay, and I like this example of a chain link. That kind of helps me. Hopefully it will help you too. Linking verbs link. Okay, so each one of these is a chain link. Link. Together they make a chain, but they're all links. And they join the subject to something else in the sentence. It identifies or describes. So linking verbs link the subject to something else in the sentence. So here are some examples. Okay, and a lot of times you'll hear it like the technical words that they'll use in English is it shows state of being. Okay, I like the word links better. So in this first example, I am a teacher. I is the subject. Am is your linking verb, and it links I to teacher. Okay, it identifies who I is. It identifies and it describes me. Okay, who am I? I'm a teacher. Okay, same thing here. John is our subject. Is our linking verb, and it's linking John to nice. What is John? He's nice. In the next example, the cute dog is Fred. Dog is our subject. Is our linking verb, and it's linking dog to whose dog it is. It's Fred's. We were hot. Once again, we got our subject we, and were is our linking verb, and it's giving us more information. It's telling us that we're hot. There are 9 common linking verbs that maybe are not as familiar with you, for you. So sometimes you can just use these notes as we're working through different worksheets until you get it. But after you practice it a little bit, these will just come, you'll just know them. But the 9 most common linking verbs are am, are, is, was, were, seem, be, been, and become. There are also some other types of linking verbs. So kind of if you look here, look, feel, sound, smell, taste, these are all sensory. Okay, these are considered linking verbs also, but here are some other not as common linking verbs to be aware of. Please use these notes as we work through worksheets to help you. And the last thing I want to go over, which I'm just going to introduce you to, we will talk about this more as we go through the notes, is the mark strategy. And each one of these letters stands for a step that I want you to memorize so that when we're working through, when we mark out a sentence and all the parts of speech in a sentence, you can use this mark strategy to help you. So this is a strategy that helps you identify the different parts of a sentence. So the mark stands for mark off the impostures. We'll talk about more impostures later, but for now, just understand that mark off, the M stands for mark off the postures. The second part is ask yourself, is there a verb? Okay, look for that action. If you can see that action, it makes it easier to find the subject or root out the subject. You can ask yourself, who or what ran, or who or what is that action word? Okay, if it's a linking word, you need to look at what does it link it together with. And then the last one is for those last three things that you need for a complete sentence. Oops. Is key on the beginning. Remember, at the beginning, you need a capital letter. Key on the ending, you need to have some type of in punctuation. And then the last thing you should ask yourself is the meaning. Does it make sense? And if you use this, you will have the 5 things that you need for a complete sentence, and you'll know if you have a complete sentence. Thank you for listening. I hope it makes sense. And if it doesn't, please ask questions and we will practice this. And feel free to rewatch the video if needed. Have a wonderful day.